welcome to Natural Hair Quest, the show. I'm Ayo Keisha Smith, your host, author, educator, natural hair specialist, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite service, and my favorite service is hair color. I love coloring hair, as you can tell, because my hair is colored, and if you know me, I change my color up few times a year, and I just love color on my hair. I love color on my clients. So we're going to give you a little bit of information to help you be a little bit more comfortable with color. Not everybody is comfortable with color. Some people don't want color. Some people want color but don't know how to ease into it. So I'm going to give you a little information to make it a little easier for you to be able to go to your stylist and talk to her about color, or if you want to do it yourself, I'll have tips for that. So I'm so excited about our show today. So we are live. Thank you for tuning in. For all my live people, we have a chat box in the corner. So please sign in. Tell us where you're from so we can say hi to you. And if you have any questions, before the end of the show, I'll have a question and answer period, so you can ask me all your color questions today and I will get those answered, or you can email me at naturalhairquest@gmail.com and I will answer those back. If you're watching this on YouTube, join us live so you can join in the chat and be a part of the show. I love to hear from you. We're going to take a quick commercial break and get right back into the show.
I'm fierce and fabulous. If you ain't like me, you can't handle it. The queen, and I'm running this. Step up to me, you better represent. I'm fierce and fabulous. If you ain't like me, you can't handle it. In control and loving it. That's why I'm so fierce and fabulous. I'm always decked out with the freshest styles. Everywhere I roll, a ball for mouth. Ice on my wrist, 7 on my hips. Shoes on my feet, flies can be. The heat I bring is danger. This is just your warning. The game is so electric.
Are you looking for that special treasure? Stop by Airport Antiques Gallery, an upscale, one-stop shopping experience. We feature some of the finest antique furniture, art, and collectible treasures from around the world. Airport Antiques and Eclectic Treasures provides professional auction and estate services for your personal valuables. We turn your treasures into... Located at 3440 Lang Avenue, Hapeville, Georgia. We are waiting for your call, 404-530-3930. That's 404-530-3930. Airport Antiques and Eclectic Treasures.
Watching MJTV Network.info and naturalhairquest.net, and we are back. So I want to give you a little bit of my experience with color. Like I said, I love color. I've been coloring natural hair for about 10 years, seriously. Once I mastered my natural hair techniques, and all my braiding techniques. Then I was like, ooh, I want to do something else. And I always loved color, loved coloring my hair, even when I wore a relaxer. And I wanted to find a color line that had no ammonia, that would keep the integrity of the hair, because a lot of times when you color your hair and the color line has ammonia in it, it will straighten out your curl pattern, change your curl pattern, and that's not what we want, because that's when you can have breakage come in. So I always recommend a no ammonia product. So I went to a company called Farouk Systems. They have a color line. It's a professional color line that is no ammonia, and I started working with them. And I became an educator with them, and they taught me all about their color line. And I went to hair schools and taught students at hair schools how to use this color line, and I taught stylists. I would go to different salons and teach them how to use this color line, and that's still the same color line that I use today. And so I just always continue to add more colors, mix and match. Like I said, color is one of my favorite services. I love color. And the way I talk to my clients about color, you know, some clients, they just strictly black. They don't want any other color but black. And that's fine. And then there's others who want to dibble and dabble in color or think about color but scared and don't want to damage their hair. Those clients, I recommend maybe starting with highlights. We can do, you know, a few highlights in the front just to get you to get a taste of the color. And then most of the time, once I do the highlights, they come back and say, I love the highlights, let's do it all over, and add more highlights, a lighter color. So there's different ways to color your hair. It's not just like you have to just have only one color or one color all over your head. There's just so many different techniques. There's you can just do the ends. That's another way. There's like I said, but it's a case-by-case basis. So for my clients, like I said, we do a consultation, and I just figure out my client's lifestyle. We talk about it and come up with the best plan for them. So I want to tell you a little bit about the difference in colors. So there's 3 different types of color. One color is a rinse, and a rinse is going to just coat the hair and last only one shampoo. Then there's a semi-permanent color, and the semi-permanent colors will, when you apply heat, last for about 4 to 6 shampoos. And then there's permanent color, and the permanent color is when you are lifting the hair into your reds and your browns, and the rinses and the semi-permanents do not lift. Although there are brown semi-permanents and brown rinses, and there are red rinses and red semi-permanents, but when you put that over top of black hair, then you get a slight tint. So you may have went to the beauty supply store, picked up a color, saw that it was a reddish brown, and you put it on your hair and nothing happened. Well, that's because it's not lifting anything out of your hair. You're just coating the hair strand. And if you wanted to actually change the color, you would need a permanent color. The permanent color takes color out of the hair and infuses color back into the hair, and that's what lifts the hair. So it just really depends on the look that you're going for. Will determine whether you want a rinse, a semi-permanent, or a permanent color, and your professional stylist should definitely know the difference. So that should help you if you are in the beauty supply store and you're looking for color. I want to say hi to everyone in my chat room. Diva JC, hi. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and don't forget to give me those questions so I can answer your color questions at the end of the show, and we have much more coming up for you, so we'll be right back.
Hey, baby, see my keys? Can't find my keys. Oh, there they go. In the corner right quick, I'll be back. Yeah. In the corridors of my mind, I imagine what the road of life would be like.
Welcome back. I'm Ayo Keisha Smith, and you're watching NaturalHairQuest.net on Natural Hair Quest, the show, and MJTVNetwork.info. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're discussing color today, and I'm having a great time. I love color. But we're going to talk about gray hair. Yeah, gray hair is a little stubborn, and I'm going to tell you why. Gray hair has no pigment in it. So the color just slides right off of it. And that's why it's so hard to color. The color in when you color your hair, there's different molecules in the color that sticks to the hair. Well, the gray hair there's the molecules won't go into that because there's no pigment in the hair, and that's why it's so hard to color. So most of the products that say for gray coverage have formulated the color with extra pigment in it to attach to the gray hair. So if you do have gray hair and you want to color it, you want to make sure it says for gray coverage. Now for my gray coverage clients, I have it's a separate color line for gray coverage. And if you don't use the color for gray coverage, sometimes you will get the undertone in the color. So if you put a black on your hair and that other undertone is green, then that sometime is what you will get, is the green. And sometimes it may appear black maybe for like the first 2 weeks or the first 2 or 3 shampoos, and then as you rinse it and shampoo it out, then you'll have like a green tint to it as the color fades. That's why, because it was not a gray coverage hair color. And also we have a question, so we'll go ahead and answer the questions. Diva JC asks, why does color thin the hair and turn it brassy looking? As far as the thinning of the hair, you might be using a color that has ammonia in it, and the ammonia can sometimes take out more than it needs to be taking out of the hair. Like, because when you're coloring it, like I said, you're lifting pigment out of the hair, and when you have gray hair, you already don't have much pigment in it, so therefore it can tend to thin. So again, you want to use a gray coverage system, and you want to use a ammonia-free product. So let's definitely keep that in mind if you are doing it at home, or if you are going to a stylist, you want to make sure they're using a gray coverage system on your hair and an ammonia-free color. I have a few things you should know if you do color your hair at home. Oh, and then there was a part 2 question. The other part of the question was, why does gray hair turn brassy? Again, it's not a gray coverage system, and then therefore as it rinses the pigments in the color that you put on, once that rinses out, then that's why it's turning brassy. And so if you are coloring your hair at home, a few things you need to know. When you see that color on the box, and if you have black hair and you're looking at that box, and that box is a light golden brown, your hair is not going to come out exactly like what's on that box. That color is formulated with a certain volume developer, which I don't want to get too technical with you, but there are certain things that professionals know how to do to get the color that you want, and therefore that's why I always say consult a professional that's a color specialist, not someone that's just dabbing in color, but someone that has honed their crafts, studies color, and works with color, so that if it doesn't come out exactly like you want it, they know how to come back in and fix it and make it right for the next time. Also, you want to, if you are coloring your hair at home, you want to make sure you're using a product that is ammonia free. And now with, you know, we're so health conscious now. A lot of people are going natural. A lot of people are thinking about you know, what they're putting in their body. So these companies had to adhere to what everyone else is wanting. So therefore, they are coming up with these products without ammonia. So I have seen in the beauty supply store that you can get products. Like I said, if you are doing it at home, they do have products in the store now that has no ammonia. So definitely read the box. And if you're covering gray, you want to make sure it says for gray coverage. And you also want to make sure it says ammonia free or no ammonia. And if you can't find the no ammonia, look for low ammonia. But I would prefer no ammonia because that's going to help to save the integrity of your hair. It's not going to strip it. It's not going to thin it and make it dry. So make sure you keep that in mind. Also, gray coverage. If you're doing it at home, one of my favorite places that I tell people to get their color from is a health food store. The health food stores, their product, the color cannot be in that store without it being natural. Like say Whole Foods, they will not put anything on their shelf that's not natural. So they have already researched the products, and when you go in there, you know you're getting a natural product that is going to be safe. And I have several clients that actually bring their color from the health food store to me, and I will put it on their hair. And so they have some really good gray coverage products in the health food store that are, most of them are like vegetable based. So definitely check that out if gray coverage is a concern of yours. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back. So you may want to get your pen and paper ready. We're going to talk about questions that you should ask your stylist before coloring your hair. You're logged on to naturalhairquest.net, mjtvnetwork.info. I'm Ayo Keisha Smith, and we'll be right back.
Giving my love to you, giving my love to only you, giving my love to you, babe, giving my love to you. Music got me high, so high I reach the sky.
I'm Ayo Keisha Smith. You're logged on to naturalhairquest.net, mjtvnetwork.info, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're talking about hair color. my favorite service. I love color. So before the break, we talked about covering gray hair. We talked about if you go to a beauty supply store, what to look for, what not to look for. And now we're going to talk about questions for your stylist. If you're thinking about doing color, having color services done, there's a few things you should know to ask your stylist before that happens. So the first question is the color line ammonia free that your stylist uses? That's the first question. You definitely want to know that. That's very important. As I stated before, ammonia free is the safest and the best color for the natural hair. You've grown your hair out and you don't want to strip it down with a color that's going to mess it up. So we want to save the integrity of the hair. We love our natural hair, but we also want color. So ammonia free is the way to go, definitely. So you want to make sure your stylist is using an ammonia free product on you. And you want to ask your stylist, if they have a color swatch or a color palette that you can look at. There are different hair color lines, have different books with hair color in it, swatches, or just different colors that you can choose from. And then that way it's easier for your stylist to be able to get an understanding of the color that you are really wanting, because sometimes you may see a hair color on someone else or in a magazine and they're not really sure what color that is, but if you have the magazine and they have the swatch booklet, then you can kind of match it up, and then that way they would be able to get a perfect color. I have a question from Kia. Hi, Kia. Do you agree with multicoloring like 5 colors? Yes, of course. I love doing different colors. That's called like dimensional color. Doing lowlights, highlights, and a base color. So a lot of times I will, like I said earlier, start my clients out with highlights, or we may do like a low base color, something that's not too bright, and then do highlights, and then gradually take them up. Then sometimes I might do highlights, lowlights, and then there's a base color that might be a little lighter than what we did before. So yes, as you can tell, my hair is 2-toned right now. Sometimes it's 3-toned, sometimes it's 4-toned, and it just really depends on what my client is looking for before I can throw that on them. But if they're open to it, I love doing it. So yes, I definitely love doing the multi-dimensional color. Doug asks, how long should color last? That's a great question because it depends. Now, like I stated before earlier, we were talking about the rinses and the semi-permanents and the permanent colors. But sometimes, even if it's a permanent color, permanent color has to grow out of the hair. However, if you are going the bright reds and oranges, they sometimes fade into a dull or color, and that's just from over time, the color molecules rinsing out of the hair, and then therefore you would need to refresh. Your stylist would need to just refresh the hair with the color, not lifting it anymore, but just adding color into the hair to make it more vibrant. And the last question, well, no, not last, I have another question, a few more questions you might want to ask your stylist is, do you use a professional color line or a box color? That's very important. You want to know the answer to that. I would want them to be using a professional color line on you, because if they're using a box color, then you can do that yourself. The last question you should ask your stylist is about color maintenance and upkeep. And make sure they tell you how to take care of your color, what to do for it, how to maintain it, how often you should come back for retouches and different things like that. And going and going into our next segment is color upkeep. So I'm going to give you a few tips on color upkeep. Color can dry your hair out because, as I said before, when you are permanently coloring your hair and you're lifting it to a lighter color, or so if your hair is black, even if you're going to a brown, you're still taking out of the hair. So therefore, it can become dry, it can become brittle. So you want to use a hydration treatment. You want to make sure you're using a shampoo and condition that's for color treated hair. And again, back to the fading, as I was saying before, sometimes the shampoos and the conditioners you use will strip the hair quicker of color, and then that's when your color becomes even more dull. So you want to make sure you are using a shampoo and a conditioner, and possibly a leave-in conditioner for color treated hair, because it's formulated to keep the molecules in the hair and keep the hair a little bit more vibrant. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Come back if you have with more questions before we leave you for the evening. You're logged on to mjtvnetwork.info and naturalhairquest.net. We'll be right back. Time flies when we're having fun. It has been a wonderful, wonderful time. I see I have much more questions out there from you guys, but I'm so sorry our time is up. You can email me at naturalhairquest@gmail.com. Make sure you tune in next Monday. We'll be right here at 7 p.m. live. And thank you so much again. I will see you soon.
Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love can be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone